Good morning, my friends. This is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. On my channel, I am journeying through my 40s and I am going through my good midlife crisis, where I have been working so hard to get my poop in a group. In order to do this, I have been working on my physical, my financial, and my mental health. And today is Friday, September the 13th, and I'm going to be doing a financial health check-in. If you are new, welcome. So excited that you are joining me. I hope that you find this interesting, entertaining. Please feel free to always point out any tips or hints or anything that you find useful in the comments below. I always welcome your feedback, always, even if you think it might be negative feedback. To me, it's constructive. Don't be mean. Tell me what you think. Um, if you're not new, welcome back. So happy that you're here. I'm so thankful that you are sticking with me. Last week, I talked about a lot of changes to my budget, and this week, I'm going to be talking about some more changes to my budget because if you were here last week, you will know that I announced that I bought a car. It wasn't in my plan. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but it was something that I ended up having to do because my car was 10 years old and the transmission was going, and it wasn't worth putting all that additional money into a car. Um, I would have spent more than it was worth to repair it. To me, that wasn't worth it. To you, that may be worth it, and that's awesome. So you do what you need to do. For me, it wasn't worth it. So I bought a new car. Um, and I had to change up my budget a lot in order to make that work because my budget was already pretty like every dollar has a job, which is the point of YNAB, which welcome if you're new. That's the app we use here on my channel, the Good Midlife Crisis for budgeting. I also do keep a paper plan and I use the Budget Mom's Budget by Paycheck book for that. But mostly my day-to-day budgeting I do in YNAB, which I love and I will talk about in a little bit. But everything is everything was tight. Everything had a job and it was already a little struggle bus to get make it work. So I had to make some cuts in order to put a car payment into my budget because I didn't have a car payment previously. I had a debt consolidation loan that I was counting as a car payment because I used my car as collateral. But that was almost paid off. That was going to be paid off in December. So now I'm continuing car payments. Anyway, that was last week. On Monday, after I made that video on Friday. And then on Monday, I accepted a position in my company that is a management position. And I have had lots and lots of management experience in the past, but I haven't had it at this company yet. And it does come with a nice increase in my pay. First, I am very thankful that I did not know that when I went car shopping, because if I had, known that I was going to get this promotion and known what the salary was going to be, I would have bought a much more expensive car, which I do not need. I would have gotten the Sportage that I wanted. But I don't need the Sportage. My car is great. I've named him Pietro, after Quicksilver from Marvel. So his name is Peter, and I love him. And I've had him for just over a week, almost 2 weeks now. And he's great. And it's so nice to have a car that works. But I know me, and I know that if I knew I was going to have this additional income coming into my budget, I would have purchased a much more expensive car. So I'm thankful I didn't know that. So that being said, I also did try to refinance the car, and I was approved for the refinance, but the interest rate that they approved me for was basically the same interest rate, and my payments actually went up by like $5 a month, because of like they have to put, it's a credit union, and apparently if you finance a new car, you have to have like a payoff option on it. I don't know. Um, so it wasn't worth it for me to do that, so I did not do that. I also got a refund from the car dealership. So I had told y'all last week that I put $3,000 down and I put it on my Capital One card. And it was actually the same day I was trying to call the credit union to get to apply for the loan. And I noticed that Capital One told me I had a $2,000 refund from Kia. And I was like, why? I mean, I'm not upset about this, but why? So I called Kia to make sure it wasn't a mistake, and they were like, "Wow, thank you for calling." And then they looked, they talked to finance, and they said, yes, apparently when they processed all my paperwork, even though I had agreed to put $3,000 down, and that's actually what I did put down, when they did all of the numbers and math, they only calculated $1,000 down. Um, so they refunded me the $2,000. I was like, sweet. So now I only have $1,000 to pay off on my Capital One card instead of 3,000, which is better. Um, Even though I decided not to go with the car loan from this credit union, when they pulled my credit and ran it, they automatically approved me for a card with them. And that card came with 6 months no interest financing on all new purchases and debt transfers, like balance transfers. I know we've talked about zero interest financing and how I have kind of let it get out of control. Don't worry, I'm not planning to use this card for anything like that. It's a no annual fee. The interest rate on this card, once the 6 months at no interest financing, is so much lower than any other card I've ever had. It's only like 14% for a credit card, which is amazing. But I don't ever let my balances stay on my card, with the exception of a zero interest card. So hopefully I will never have to worry about that. But I did transfer 800 of that $1,000 from Capital One onto that card so that I can have a couple of months to pay that off and not have to pay any interest on it because the interest rate on my Capital One card is like 32%, um, which I had to look up because I've literally never paid interest on that, or at least I don't think I have. I haven't in the last 2 years, so I didn't know what the interest rate was. And I'm not excited about paying all that extra money if I don't have to. So I left $200 on there and I'm going to make a $200 payment this month. And then once it balance transfers to the other card, I'll just pay it off on there. Maybe I can pay it off very quickly, like within a month or two. Maybe it will take me, it won't take me the 6 months to pay off $800, but whatever, I don't have to worry about the interest. But other than that, I do not intend to use that card. The only reason I took it is one, they already hit my credit for it. And two, I could balance transfer that $1,000 from Capital One onto it. So my car payments are going to stay what they were, which I realized in watching back last week's video, I never actually said what my car payments were, and they are no, oh my goodness, no, 485, 485.25. I'm just budgeting in $500 a month as my minimum payment, and I'm gonna go from there. I am hopefully going to be able to increase that once my American Express is paid off. But my focus right now for the next couple of months, is going to be getting my emergency fund back up to $1,000, putting my money back into YNAB, so that'll be fully funded. I won't have to worry about that. Um, and then paying off my Amex. Like those are my primary focuses. So let's get started on this week's budget, which will be back to what it was 2 weeks ago. All those changes I made last week, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing because that was working. And my increase in my pay will not hit until my first check in October, but I don't have to worry about being so tight this month like I was being. Um, don't worry, y'all. I'm not going to go off the rails. All this is going to allow me to do is to pay off my card faster and save more, which is my goal. I'm going to save more, maybe give a little bit bigger because I always tend to overspend my giving budget. Um, I don't think I'll give more. I think I'll just budget more for giving, if that makes sense. Okay. It is only 7:24, but I have actually quite a lot to do at work because I'm super important now. But actually that hasn't even started yet. I have a coworker out. My poor Amanda, her dog Daisy passed away yesterday. So if y'all could just keep them in your prayers, your hearts, um, because that she is struggling hard, and I am not looking forward. I know that's coming for me with Emmett, and ugh, that hit me harder than most people's. And I've never even met her dog. She lives in Michigan, and I live in Texas. Um, I work remotely. I work from home, so my whole team does. So anyway, that one, whew, that was hard, and that happened yesterday unexpectedly. So, um, anyway, I'm covering for her, so I am very busy at work. So I'm going to try to keep this short, she said as she rambles for 10 minutes. and we'll just get straight into the budget. So give me 1 second. I this is my last think this is my last recording on this budgeting on this software here where I have to pause to shrink myself. So I think when we come back next week, I'll just be able to shrink myself into the corner without pausing, and I can't wait. Okay, we're welcome to my YNAB. This is my budget for the month of September, and I think I've already updated my targets back to where they were. But if you watched last week's video or if you use YNAB, you might know that targets are acting all wonky. So if the target is off, just ignore it. I promise it's not that bad. So what I am going to budget is every week I give myself, and I'm sticking with the 50 because I know at the end of the month, whatever's left over, I'm going to roll into my, what did I say I was rolling this all into? I was medical, but I don't need to. American Express. I'm going to roll everything that's left over in my categories into my American Express payment. So I'm going to give myself $50 because now I can. And if you've been around, you know that dining out is something that I enjoy doing. I have celiac, so cooking at home gets a little struggly, and I work from home, so it's just so nice to go out for dinner. I went out with my friend Kay the other day, just out of the blue. I was like, you know what? I want to go to dinner. I'm going to see if Kay's available. And we went out, and it was just really nice to have that little bit of extra money in your budget to cover an expense that makes you happy.
As it's editing Becky here, just really quick. I realized as I'm getting this video ready to post that I totally failed and did not mention Kay's channel. Kay that I had dinner with is my friend Kay who has Kay's Tiny House Dreams, the channel, and I have worked with her before. She and I did the was it October, November? I can't remember. The Dine at Home challenge together last year. And anyway, she has been documenting her journey to building her own tiny home, but recently she started including some other type videos as well. This week, she just shared how she managed to save up and buy her Tesla in cash. And I thought that that would be interesting to y'all, even if you're not interested in watching about winemaking or tiny house building, you might be interested in learning how she managed to save that much money in cash and her tips and her tricks for it. Also, she will be posting a video, I think next week, maybe this week, on how she is financing her tiny house, her budget for that. So I am super interested to see that. Kay is the friend that I overheard talking about her budgeting group that she was in, and she and our other friend Nicholas were both talking about YNAB, which is how I learned about YNAB. I also realized I forgot to do my YNAB spiel. I'm not going to go into all of that now because we want to get back to the budget. But if you're interested in checking out Kay's channel, I will link it below. And also, my YNAB link is below as always. Okay, back to Becky budgeting.
If you have it, there is nothing wrong with spending it on things that make you happy. If you don't have it, obviously don't go out and do the things you can't afford. And I wouldn't have gone out for dinner with her except for I knew I was going to be getting this increase and I knew my budget was going to be getting a little bit easier. And so I went. Groceries, I am increasing my grocery budget from $100 a week to $125 a week, which I know I've had some comments about how I spend a lot on groceries. And I honestly have tried and I've looked and I'll start doing like it's hard for me to do grocery hauls. I always say I'm going to make videos and I don't. I will attempt to save receipts and share what I am spending. But honestly, I don't know why it's so expensive other than the gluten-free foods that I have to purchase because as I explained Libby last week, Libby, by the way, is amazing and sent me and bought me a couple of coffees. So I was able to get myself my coffee yesterday after the gym when I would not have normally been able to do that. So thank you, Libby. You are always amazing and so supportive, and I love you. I appreciate you so much. But she had one of the ones. She's not the only one. She is one of the ones who had said about my grocery budget being a little higher than you would anticipate. And in my response to that, I used to pay 88 cents for a loaf of bread, a big loaf of white bread, which would last me 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I just don't eat that much bread. Now that I have celiac, I pay $7 for a little tiny loaf of white bread that lasts me a week and a half if I'm lucky. I like to have a bagel in the morning. Now that I am on my semaglutide weight loss, I really can't eat a whole bagel, so I kind of eat a half a bagel in the morning. So this does last me a little longer. But four bagels, four little gluten-free bagels, is $7 or $8 for four bagels out of the freezer section. It would be cheaper to go buy a bagel every morning from Einstein, or if you're in New York and you actually have good bagels, like to go to the bagel shop and get a whole bagel sandwich or a cream cheese bagel. You could do that every single day. Eat out on your bagels for less than I pay for four bagels. So my cookies are more expensive, my crackers are more expensive. I have to buy like fortunately my HEB, which is my grocery store here, they do have their own brand of a lot of gluten-free because HEB is amazing. Um, so I am able to buy store brands, but they're still more expensive than buying the store brands of the other food, of like regular foods, which is what I used to do. So, yes, my grocery budget is high, but it is what it is, and there's just unfortunately nothing I can do about it. Um, I have to eat the protein because I am on a weight loss journey. So I have to have protein with every. I don't have to, but it's healthier for me. So I have my proteins and I have my gluten free for anything that's not a protein. Even actually some of my proteins, I have to make sure they're gluten free. So anyway, everything just costs more. If you have celiac or if you are gluten free, then you will understand this, and I am sorry for you as well. So anyway, all that being said, I am going to increase it just by $25 just because I've noticed I keep going over by just a couple of dollars every month, um, every week. Hi, Chad came to visit me. I don't think y'all can see him, but my puppy's here. He's like, who are you talking to, Ma? Oh, no, no. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna put $125 in here. I'm sticking with $10 for fun money. I think I was just upset and stressed out. Um, I know I was. And so I spent a couple of extra dollars on fun money. I did something that I never, ever, ever do. And I spent money on a phone game. I never spend money on those games. And I found myself for like the third time buying extra lives. And I was like, what are you doing? And I used all my fun money for it. And I was like, that's it. There's all your fun money, Becky. You're not getting any more. I am not increasing this because I am not encouraging that behavior. Becky needs to not do that anymore. And never do that ever. So I'm done. I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm sticking with $10 a week. We'll see as I go if that changes. Am putting my ecclesial expenses back up to $60. I mean, to $80. $80 a week, $60 for my donation, $20 for my meal out afterwards. Last week we didn't go out for a meal, so I didn't have to worry about making that work. So the whole lowered budget, so thankfully I can put it back up. And then coffee gets its $25 a week. That went back from 15. It is a paycheck week, and I do have half a tank of gas, so I am going to go ahead and put $25 in. Now, this is a new car, and I believe the tank is a little bit bigger than my last car, so I may have to increase this to like $30 or $35 every 2 weeks, but I'm still not driving very much, so we'll see. I'm going to put the 25 in, see how that does, and then go from there. And again, it is a paycheck week, so I am doing $25 for my self-care. Um, okay. I am going to put my pet expenses back up to the full 150. I don't know that I'll need it. And if I don't, hopefully I can be in the position to start rolling money back into my pet emergency fund like I was previously. That was my old way of doing it. I was only funding $50 at the time, but because of Emmett's dietary needs and medical expenses, I've upped it. Um, Anything that was left over at the end of the month, I rolled into my pet emergency fund. I have completely depleted my pet emergency fund with all of Emmett's expenses. So now I'm hoping that I can start putting money back into it with this. Once I work out my new budget completely, I've started to, but I haven't because I don't actually know exactly what my paychecks are going to be. I know what my salary is going to be, but again, My HSA comes out on a percentage. My my like 401k investment comes out as a percentage. I have to pay my health care. I have to pay the taxes, which I know that's going to go up. So I don't exactly know. I have a rough estimate of what I think it will be, which is when I set up October's budget, I will set that up with that. But I don't know for sure what it's going to be. And I'm going to like lowball it, which is still going to be really nice, y'all. I'm so excited to actually be making grown up money. I've been making like this career that I have now with this company. The amount that I'm making now is significantly more than I've ever made in my life because I do not have a college degree, which I do not think you should have to have a college degree. I have almost 20 years of experience in this industry. I know what I'm doing. I'm really good at what I'm doing. But without a college degree, companies won't even see your application. Like it just these robo things, they just filter you out. So it's really hard to advance your career. But at my age, I'm 44 years old. I'm not going to go back to school and spend a couple $100,000 on a degree that's going to get me like a $2,000 a year pay increase. I'm not going to do that. So it's a struggle bus right now, but it's not right now. It was, but it's not. So I'm very thankful. And I know that I am very fortunate. Okay, y'all. I'm going to say this, and I know not everybody is going to agree, and I am sorry if I'm not, it's not my intent to offend anybody. But obviously, I have a church donation. I am a very religious person. Um, I know in my heart that God is always looking out for me. And the timing of this pay increase and the amount that I am budgeting, that I am anticipating it to be, almost exactly covers my car payment. Like maybe a little bit more to cover the increase in my car insurance as well. So basically, God was like, "You need a car. How are you going to handle this?" And I made it work. And he's like, "Well done. Now here's how you're going to pay for your car." And it's been a little bit overwhelming to think about that. So for me, this has been a much better week until yesterday when poor Amanda. But there's just the financial stress that was lifted. I was literally shaking when I got that call about the promotion. Anyway, back to my budget. Where am I? So I'm leaving my YouTube expenses, stuff I forgot to budget for, household for right now. Um, I may increase them going forward, but for right now, I'm leaving them all. But I may start getting stickers again, but not right away. We'll see, because I do love those stickers. Okay, the bills that I have to pay, I only have to pay two bills. I'm going to pay the 757 for my OneDrive. If you've been here, you know I normally do $10 a month and I leave a couple of dollars extra in here to cover my Instant Ink subscription. As you can see, I already had like $9 in here for Instant Ink, so I don't need that right now. So I'm leaving, it's maybe a $2 a month max what I spend on printing, so this will last me for the rest of the year. My Kia Soul payment is going to be due on the 17th, which that's not, I don't have to pay it this month. I don't pay it till next month. So I don't have to worry about that this check, and I'll pay it going forward. And then Planet Fitness is my gym membership, excuse me, is $27.11 every month. That's all that I have to pay for bills out of this check. We already covered my envelopes. The only other thing I need to do is go put my savings away for my two great nephews. So I have two great nephews, and they're working on my great niece. She will be due in March, I think is when she's due, but she's not here yet. Um, so for right now, I have baby Joe, who is 1 year old, so I save $1 a week for him. So that's $2 every paycheck. And then my great nephew, baby Jet, who is not quite 1 year old, but I still save $1 a week for him, so he also gets $2. So that's it, y'all. That's it. I was planning to roll over $1,800 and I'm rolling over $2,100, which makes me feel so much better. And next week, I will hopefully be able to put money toward my medical expenses because if you remember from a couple of weeks ago, I had to get my endoscopy for my celiac, and I have another $429.46 that's going to hit my card not next week, but the week after. Um, And I was really struggling hard to try to figure out. Apparently, struggle's my word of the day. Sorry about that. But I was really trying to figure out how I was going to cover all of that, and everything left in all my categories was going to go into this. But now I should have enough money to fund it, fully fund it. So, so yay. Um, and then what is coming out of my HSA? What? Oh, that's income, not outflow. Okay, I was like, why do I have money coming out? I don't have anything set up on that card. That made me think. So, if you're not familiar with YNAB, these little gray numbers right here are upcoming transactions. This is a YNAB toolkit feature. It's not a YNAB feature, so if you don't have toolkit turned on, you're not going to see anything here. It'll just look like these where there's nothing. But if you do have it turned on, then it'll show your upcoming transactions. So when you're getting your budget ready, you can look and be like, wait a minute, $80 is going to come out of this. I need to go put some money in this category. That's next week for me. But anyway, YNAB helped me so much when I was trying to figure out my budget, how I was going to change things up, what my priorities were. And y'all, if you heard it from Hannah, which she does YNAB videos, like for YNAB, she works for YNAB, she posted a video yesterday about making ends meet when things are tough. And I was like, wow, this was perfect. This went along with my video from last week. So I will link that below in case you haven't seen it yet. She's funny. I love her. And anyway, I thought that was very timely. So I am going to. Did I put? Oh, that's next week. Okay. I am going to move this money, this 2,102.66 to my next week category. So it will be available when you come back next week because I don't get another paycheck. I had a paycheck today. I had this money was, oh, I did get my money from Geico, and y'all, they did direct deposit it into my account. I was not expecting that. I cashed in my Aflac annual wellness exam, like review. Like when you have an Aflac plan, they give you money back for going to the doctor every year. I got that money deposited, and then Libby was awesome and sent me a couple of buy me a coffees. I did also order my new planners from Clever Fox. So if you are not familiar with Clever Fox, they have amazing planners. I ordered myself, can't even remember the name of it. It's basically, it's right here. My current planner is here because I write in it every morning. But it's basically like your gratitude journal, but a light version. I think it's called the 4 minute journal. Um, and I ordered one of those because it's this journal. I'm not gonna like, well, of course I opened to a day I missed. But this journal, you fill out your morning here and then you sum up the day here. On the one that I just ordered, it's like half the page is the morning and the second half the page is the evening. And I think that's more realistic for me because while I love this, found that I don't do it as often as I would like to because I just am tired at night or I'm busy in the morning. So I'm thinking maybe a shorter one will be better for me. And then I also ordered myself a desk planner because now that I have a team to manage, I want to like be able to keep track of everything. I'm going to have a lot more meetings. I'm going to have to schedule one-on-ones with my team and do all the things. And I want to be able to keep track of that. And while I do obviously have Outlook calendars and stuff on my work computer, it's easier for me to write stuff down. My brain just functions better. So I ordered those two planners from Clever Fox. I think they'll be here today, maybe tomorrow, but I'm really excited to get them. And when I do, I will share them with you. If you are also interested in getting yourself a new type of journal, they have all of the journals. You name a thing that you can write down, and they have a planner or a journal for it, including just a blank planner, blank journal with just notebook paper on it if that's all you want. They have an end of life planner, which I know Nikki got from Midlife Money Moves. That's no, that's, oh my goodness, that's not Nikki. But what is Nikki's? I don't remember Nikki's channel name. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Nikki. But anyway, I know she used um, my link to get a planner for herself, and she got one of those. They have gratitude journals, fitness journals, lifestyle journals, like food prep planning journals, budgeting journals, and investment planning journals, all you think of a thing you write down, they have a journal for it. So if you are interested in checking that out, I will put my link below. And then if you use the code Becky10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. So, and they will send me a percentage of that or order as well if you use that code. So thank you so much for those of you who have done it. I know Gina did it recently as well. Um, I appreciate y'all and just I think that's everything I have. It is 7:45. I am going to go make myself some breakfast and get to work. I hope y'all are having a fantastic week. If you're not, I am so sorry. Um, but I hope next week gets better. And I hope you have a great weekend. I love y'all. I appreciate you so, so, so much. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.